Hello and welcome back to Trader Talk. I'm your host, Dan Worth, and today I'm joined with Sam Gregory from Sporting Index Tennis Desk. Sam, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, thank you. Obviously, we're in the midst of one of the biggest tournaments in your sport at the moment, Wimbledon. How's it all been going for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's as hectic as it gets the first few days of any slam. You got 64 singles games a day at the start of the week. It's as hectic as it gets. But yeah, it's going well so far. It's been a good tournament. Obviously, losing Emma and Andy early is not good for the press coverage and things like that. But apart from that, it's been going well.
Definitely. Well, you mentioned Emma and Andy then, so let's start with the sort of British angle. Obviously, they're both out, unfortunately. But a couple of days ago, I was in the press saying it's the best British start to Wimbledon since 1984, I think. That's obviously changed now, but a lot of British hopes lie on Norrie now. How much of a chance does he have, do you think?
I think he's got a very good chance, actually. He's got quite an open. He's in the second quarter, which is quite an open quarter. He's got the big serve and Bublik to deal with later, but I really can see a run to the semi-final for him. Hasn't got his favourite to win this quarter, but when he gets there, he will have Djokovic in his way, which will be a bit of a mismatch. So I think a semi-final run will be a good achievement for him. But he's never gone past round 3 in a Grand Slam before, so it'll be uncharted territory. But I think he can get there.
So lots of pressure for him later on today then. And you mentioned the odds. He's currently at 40-1, a little way down the book. But do you think there's some value there?
Yeah, I think there's some value there. There's not much each way value, obviously, with Djokovic being in this half. But I think probably quarter winner for Norrie is definitely value.
Cool. Great stuff. Well, going back to the book then, it'll be pretty difficult to speak about tennis and not go to the very top of it. You've got Djokovic and Nadal there, quite short prices. If you had to pick one, who would you be going for?
Djokovic easily. I think Nadal's obviously battling with this chronic foot problem, and his Wimbledon record over the last 10 years or so has been pretty average at best. And Djokovic is obviously coming off winning it 3 times in a row. So I think Djokovic is the clear odds on favourite for a reason. I can't really look beyond him, to be honest.
Fair enough. I mean, it's very hard to disagree with you. I guess looking further afield then, we talked to the sort of greatest of all time conversations. Yeah. Are you on Team Djokovic then?
I think he will end up with the most slams. I'm not on Team Djokovic or Rafa. We're neutral here at Sporting Index. But I think Djokovic will end up going beyond Rafa by 3 or 4 Grand Slams. If he wins this Wimbledon, which I expect him to do, that'll be one behind. And with Rafa's injuries, any Grand Slam can be his last at the moment. And Djokovic is looking as fit and as dominated. He's looking as good as ever. So I can see him going beyond Rafa, I think, especially being a year younger as well.
Sure. I mean, I'm just super interested to see how it all pans out. It feels like they've been both at the top of the game for ages and long may it continue. We've kind of talked about those guys have been around for a while. A nice up-and-coming one is Alcaraz, another Spaniard. There's obviously a lot of pressure on the teenager with the lots of superlatives being thrown around about him. Just how good do you think he is now, and how good can he be?
Well, that's the thing, how good he is now. Everybody's talking about his potential in the future, but he won in Miami, he won in Madrid, the Madrid Masters, knocking out Rafa, Djokovic, Zverev consecutively. So we're talking about potential, but he's already there. He's already the real deal. But in terms of future, I think 2022 might be too soon to win a Grand Slam. But as soon as Djokovic and Rafa finally get out of the way, if they ever do, and Roger obviously, then I can really see Zverev, Medvedev, and Alcaraz being the kind of new big 3. And obviously a bit younger, and with Medvedev struggles on clay, I think he could dominate the French Open, and I can see him being a multiple major champion for sure. Maybe five Grand Slams at least I can see.
Well, I mean, yeah, that would be a pretty good career in itself. And he's another one that I'm super excited to see unfold. I agree with you. I think the kind of opportunities are endless with him there. So definitely one to watch. So we've talked about the youngsters. Let's go back to the oldies. Serena obviously bowed out earlier on in the tournament. How much longer do you think until we get a retirement from her? Or on the flip side, do you think she's got it in her to win another Grand Slam?
A short answer to this one, no, she doesn't. It's been 5 years. It was the Aussie Open 2017, I believe, when she last won a Grand Slam. And with having children in that time and injuries and age, she's 41 in September. And she's no longer seeded for any of these tournaments. So she's going to be coming against big players in the first few rounds. Age has beaten her now. I think finally she's playing against people half her age, and I think the retirement is pretty soon. And maybe she'll give Wimbledon another go next year, but I can't see her really going deep in a slam anymore. The only slight silver lining is that, apart from Swiatek, the women's top 10 at the moment is a bit of a who's who. So there's not, with Barty retiring and Osaka having her issues, then there is a bit of, she could potentially get an easy run just because the lack of top talent there is out there, apart from Swiatek, like I said. But yeah, the short answer is no.
Fair enough. I mean, it would be great to see her do it again, but already what a career. I mean, she owes no one anything, so that's fair enough. But back to the men's then, we spoke about Murray before. Is it only a matter of time for him too, or again, does he have a chance going forward in future slams?
I don't think he has a chance of winning one again, but I don't think the retirement is imminent. I think I can see another 2 years or so if his body holds up, maybe 3 years. He's too much of a competitor. He's been playing on the second tier circuit sometimes in the last couple of years just because he loves competing, and I can't see him retiring in the next couple of years. I think he's had obviously a bit of a gap of play in the last 4 years or so with injuries, so I think mentally he wants to carry on. So as long as his body holds up, I can see him playing for a good 2 or 3 more years. But winning a slam, I think it's going to be beyond him, to be honest. Yeah,
fair enough. It's a whole different kettle of fish, but it'll be good to see him still compete. All right then. So just to finish up, I just want your personal opinions. Maybe even leave Djokovic out of it, but who would you be going for the rest of the tournament?
I think maybe from some each way value, I think Taylor Fritz in the bottom half. He beat Nadal in Indian Wells final, and he played exceptionally that day. And Nadal awaits him in the quarterfinal, and I can really see him coming through Nadal. So I think he's got potentially a very good runner going to the final. I think on the women's side, Swiatek hasn't played that well in the first 2 rounds. She's had 2 very easy matches, and she struggled really. So I think on Jabeur, who's the second favourite, I think she beat Swiatek at Wimbledon last year pretty convincingly in the end. So I think she's probably a good bet to win the tournament outright. Also, the Latvian Ostapenko has quite an easy run to the final. So I think, she's in their quarter 4, which is quite an easy quarter. So I think she's got quite a good chance of going deep into the tournament as well.
Lovely stuff. Well, thanks very much for that. That's all for today. So at this point, I just want to say thanks for joining us, and just to remind everyone at home that if you are gambling with us, please do so responsibly. But most of all, enjoy the rest of the tournament. And to you, Sam, I wish you the best Wimbledon. And thanks again for joining us. We'll see you very soon.